the vessel that we are using for you to have unlimited power, and it's no different than problem solving that has been done one way or another throughout time in regarding to rebalancing society, energy, and water flows. Okay. In this particular realm of creation, this particular time, we're going to use basically a triode. This is a radio component tube, but we're going to turn a city into a tube, and we're going to use data centers as its filament, drive the energy through and intermix it in a screen grid, and toss it out of the city into the sky to cool the skies of Earth forevermore. Now, what a amplifier does like this, okay? And this has in it a heating element. It has an intermix point, and then it has a release point for the power that's pressurized and conditioned within the tubing system. And that is what a city becomes when you take data center components from outlying counties, okay, just the equipment, and you place them within the vacant real estate and subterranean areas of the city. You cause the eclipse and use of power to go from, right now 136% down to 100%, and then down to 30%. Okay, a 70% reduction in power, so that you're in effect, whenever you're moving data center and equipment in, you're building a power plant every time you do that. We'll explain that here in a moment. In that, what this system does, it takes unlimited planetary power, this battery that is grounded into, and intermixes, uses the city, its subterranean, the mass of the city, to amplify kinetic energy force and energy that has been stored in the earth for the last 4.3 million years, and allows us in this case to neutralize consumer energy load so that you don't have to build power plants anymore. Neutralize consumer energy load so you don't have to use the majority of your power and your water to run data centers. Neutralizes the energy flow and compacts the data system within the city close to its inhabitants and users, so that your data processing is 1,000 times faster than in outlying counties or in remote data centers that exist today. And because these data center components are being used to, in this case, as the heat source within this tube, the tube is outlined in this turquoise area here. That's the shell. There's the filament. There is the screen grid right there. That is grounded to terrestrial ground. And then you have this, which is tied out to the atmosphere. This is the emitter portion. If this were a transistor, this would be the collector. This right here would be the base, and this right here would be the emitter. But in triode diode theory, it was the element, the intermix in the screen, and the plate, and the potential difference, which in both cases is, in this case, the elevation difference between lower elevation and higher elevation. Okay. And when you place a rectifier system, a planetary squelch circuit, into the atmosphere of man-made infrastructure, what you're doing is you're neutralizing consumer energy load. Consumer energy load is like throwing logs off of a log truck that's going off a hill. If you roll those log trucks off, all of a sudden you don't need as much power, you don't need as much carbon, you don't need as much fuel. Okay? neutralizing consumer energy load is accomplished by terrestrially grounding in the infrastructure that you're built basically above the surface in the desert of the world as opposed to the subterranean of the world. Okay? You are building here by moving data center components, outlying cities, okay? Outlying counties, excuse me, okay? And using those outlying county shells as affordable housing, it's a win-win. But it's mostly a win-win for the energy company, because instead of building billions of dollars and spending billions of dollars in tens of years to build power plants, just simply by facilitating the transfer of data equipment from outlying counties into the interior of the city accomplishes them building power plants, accomplishes building up the drinking water supply to the appropriate level, turns the city into an amplifier of power, and then based on this is a delta mass conduction force generator, okay, made out of the steel, the pathways, the mass and rock of the city, okay? But in this current form, this delta force conduction force generator, no moving parts, no mechanical means, piping system like this, is able to bring in autonomously the atmosphere of the Earth and rectify it, okay, into one direction, and then to segment out the kinetic energy and the water, so that the water in the atmosphere, this becomes an artificial spring, okay? So you solve all the problems of energy generation, data center proliferation, drinking water supply, and by terrestrial grounding man-made infrastructure, okay, you're turning any city component where you place data systems, which is a detriment to you now, and you turn it into a terrestrial atmosphere cooling amplifier, one that returns the Earth to what we call terrestrial resonance, to terrestrial peace, unlimited power and water for all.